explorers on a remote island in the brutal Bering Sea. Days without food and weakened by hunger. They'll hunt what they can on this cold volcanic rock.
Don't move.
Laying it all on the line to survive. What does it take to conquer Alaska?
We gotta move, here we go.
8 expert explorers are putting their lives on the line.
No. Whoa.
In a relentless test of survival. They're on a 10-leg journey covering 3,000 miles of Alaska's wildest terrain. Like the original National Geographic explorers, they'll live off the land and use only what gear they can carry to survive.
Oh, nice. There's a bear right there, look.
The rules are simple.
1, 2.
On each leg, they'll have just 72 hours to reach their extraction point.
Let's go. We gotta move. We gotta go, man.
Or risk getting left behind. Why would any man accept this challenge?
Why do you go out and test yourself? Because you can. Why do you climb mountains? Because it's there. If you have to ask that question, you will never understand the answer in the first place.
Marty! Oh, don't go this way. Yeah, buddy.
Day 25 of the expedition, and the 8 explorers are dropped off onto the windswept tundra of Nunivak Island.
Holy smokes. Boy, it is flat out here.
No Alaskan goes to Nunivak. I don't know one Alaskan that went to Nunivak Island, but we did. Even though it's green and inviting, once your plane lands, you realize the wind is incessant. And it was clear. This was going to be cold. This was going to be hungry.
It's 33 degrees with the wind chill factor. But despite the bleak landscape, Nunivak Island does have wildlife.
On Nunivak, it's a great opportunity for subsistence. The coastline, waterfowl, and salmon streams. It was all here.
After surviving 4 grueling legs of the expedition, their 5th
What the hell?
nearly ended in disaster.
They should be here by now.
The men were stranded on Katmai Bay for more than 76 hours without food.
Nothing to eat.
Big country, man. Big country.
Now, they're determined to stock up as much as possible. But they'll have just 72 hours on this frigid, windswept island.
There she is, boys, the Bering Sea. Holy smokes. It's so rugged, it's insane. This leg of the expedition has to be about food. You know, this whole thing about subsisting is taking on a new light.
Until now, the explorers have survived mostly on a meager diet of rice and beans.
I'm going to have crunchy rice and beans again? That gets really difficult, and you're constantly thinking about it. When you're hungry, you're always thinking about food.
To make the most of their time on Nunivak, the men will split up into 3 hunting parties.
If we'd all branch out, you know, we can definitely find a lot of food.
Yeah.
2 hunting parties will scour the island for sustenance, while a third will build a base camp focused on food preservation.
Here we go.
The plan is to reunite at the base camp with what food they get, and then head for the extraction LZ just outside the small village of McCorrick. The first hunting party heads south along the rugged coast of the Bering Sea.
Bro?
Desperate for food, Austin Manelik, Willie Pretty, and Tyler Johnson scan the horizon.
Keep our eyes open for what looks like good
Table fare.
Good digs.
Their mission is to bag enough birds to feed the entire group. But for 24-year-old Austin, it's about something more.
I'm the youngest one here, and I'm going to prove myself. Respect is earned, not given.
Austin hopes to prove his worth with his signature weapon.
I got my bow, my long bow right here. The bow to me is something special. The bow to me is something unique. If I could, I would take it everywhere with me. What can't you use a longbow for? I'm gonna have an arrow just out and on my string ready.
Yeah, but it's going to be tough to get close to him.
While Austin's betting his primitive bow will continue to reap results, Willie's packing a little more firepower. His airman's survival rifle.
M6, it's actually an official military weapon, and it's a 22 Hornet, which is a high-powered center-fire 22, and the 410 shotgun. As long as you can get close enough, you can take any kind of waterfall with that.
Now, they just need to get close enough to make a kill.
Here we go.
5 miles away, the second hunting party heads toward Nunavak's harsh interior.
I'm liking this sunshine.
Mountain man Marty Rainey and his son Matt are in search of fish.
You know, hiking around the mountains and living off beans and rice, I will say I bet I've lost 20 pounds. So on this one, I'm definitely conscientious about procuring some food. All right, let's go walk up 1 mile and see what we got.
Though it's inhospitable terrain, Matt's confident that he and his father will work together to overcome the elements.
When it comes to a father and son relationship, it's pretty close, actually. We worked together in his masonry business for like the past 5 years. And I don't know, you can't get any closer than that.
There she blows, buddy.
The McCormick River looks like it'll make for good fishing on the opposite bank, but that means getting across.
You know, it looks pretty dang shallow.
What do you think of crossing, boy? Right there. It became clear that we had to cross the McCormick because it looked like there was better fishing on the other side. The issue is the tide.
Okay.
All I know is it's out, and when it comes in, this is going to be way too dangerous to cross.
Getting to the other side now, at low tide, should be easy. Getting back may not be. This close to the Bering Sea, the McCormick River runs as much as 8 feet deeper during high tide.
It's slippery, dude. Oh, this is a cold one.
I concur.
This is a cold one, buddy. I don't want to slip fall on this trauma.
Hopefully the fishing on the far bank is worth braving the frigid waters. 6 miles to the north, Iditarod champion Dallas Seavey, his brother Tyrell, and Brent Sass are headed to a beach to set up base camp.
Lunchtime yet? The whole trip you're thinking about every day is we don't have enough food. And so every single meal is a task of rationing, and it really, really comes down to what you have to have and what's comfort. And that's a burden. That gets really difficult, and you're constantly thinking about it.
Whew, that was a good hike for the day.
The plan, to preserve and stockpile meat for the remaining legs. And Dallas has an idea.
Lots of wood to build a smoker here.
You have to preserve this stuff, and after getting there and realizing that we needed to have a way to do it, smoking was definitely the way, and so we had to build our own makeshift smoker and make it work.
We make a little igloo-looking dome out of rocks and sticks and grass. We'll be well on our way.
To build their smoker, they'll start with a driftwood frame and then seal it with moss. Inside, a small fire will raise the temperature to around 220 degrees, smoking small strips of meat hung on baling wire racks at the opposite end.
I'm thinking the meat's going to be up here and the fire's going to be down here.
Okay.
A smoker is essentially a fireplace with no chimney. It has to be nearly airtight. You want to hold that smoke in there to cure and just soak through all the meat and keep it for as long as possible. It should be able to keep for somewhere between 2 to 4 weeks.
Right.
Smoking preserves the meat by drying it out over low heat while coating it with oils from the wood, protecting it against bacteria.
And this takes a temperature of about 200 to 250 degrees. This is complete guesswork. We don't have a thermometer. You don't just turn a dial and have more or less heat. We might be able to do like 3 strands straight that are like this long and lay the meat across it. It's kind of important. If we don't do this right, this meat's all going to spoil.
I'm pretty sure we can take that. We got all this natural moss and root systems to put on top, and we got multiple layers of that to hold that smoke down. This is what's going to seal it up nice. Once we get the fire going, we'll see where the smoke leaks out, and we'll put more on. Because if you leak in smoke, then you're sort of losing your main resource in a smoker, which is the smoke. So
Now that we have the smoker built, we're going to get a fire going in there and dry out all the wood and the moss that we use to cover this thing and get it ready to go. Now all we need is some meat to go in it.
Yeah, this thing's looking good, man.
But meat may be harder to find than they thought. 3 miles up the rugged coastline, Austin, Willie, and Tyler are hunting geese.
Those geese might be hanging out kind of those wetlands down there. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if we can...
Oh, yeah. I just saw some geese right there. You see, straight out there? I just saw them flapping wings.
One sit straight to this little rock or little knob right there.
We might be able to put the snake on them a little bit.
If he can get close enough, Austin has a secret weapon.
You know what? Actually, hold on. Got an arrow blank right here. I'm gonna go after it, put it on this bird point, my butterfly point. Maybe this will snag up in their feathers, you know? Break a wing or something like that. I think we need everything we need at our disposal right now. It's got a better circumference, so even if I miss it, tangle it up versus this small one.
Right.
You know, the two differences, so we'll see. I gotta utilize everything I got.
Cool.
All right, here we go.
Austin shot a spruce chicken with his bow, which was unbelievable. But you don't necessarily shoot sea dogs with a bow. I know bows are limited. I mean, it's not a gun, but in the back of your mind, you're like, who knows?
Just drop his pack. We're getting close.
Austin is determined to prove himself to his fellow explorers, and he seizes his opportunity.
It's gonna be a shot in the dark, Lily. A shot.
I saw a couple of wings that way, but I haven't seen anything else. In this day and age, people have firearms, and that's been a great boon. Instead of using a bow and arrow, Austin notwithstanding. So this is pretty difficult, if not impossible.
Oh, there's a lot of them. There's more! There's more!
The wind is whipping at 20 miles per hour. Austin knows it's a long shot. On the wind-blasted tundra of Alaska's Nunivak Island, 8 explorers are trying to stave off hunger by hunting down some much-needed protein. 24-year-old Austin Manelik is an expert with the longbow. Now he's hoping to score a goose and the respect of his fellow explorers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Too far.
Way too far.
I was ready for some dinner. This is like very frustrating. Austin's got his bow, and quite frankly, I'm not sure he can beg a bird at this distance, and that's a bit problematic. We'll have to see how that works out.
Though the food situation's growing dire, Austin's resolve is holding strong.
I'm gonna have my bow ready.
We need to stock up for the next leg, too. We got a lot of work ahead of us.
As their hunger drives them forward. 8 miles away, in Nunivak's harsh interior,
We've got time in the day. Let's just drop our packs and try to fish.
Marty and Matt have crossed the McCormick River at low tide, angling for this prime fishing spot.
Maybe we can catch us a pre-spawn salmon.
Let's give it a whirl, buddy. Let's get these packs off.
But before they can even drop their lines, Marty spots another meal.
Look at that flock of geese. Hundreds. If they fly over here, I'm going to try one.
Marty readies his .22 Magnum high-standard Longhorn revolver, hoping the birds fly his way.
Matt, don't move. That is awesome, Matt.
But the geese change course.
Wise choice, my Canadian friends. Muskox on the ridge. Shh, awesome. This ain't something that happens every day. You could live 100 lifetimes and not be in the presence of a muskox.
Matt starts fishing with just a simple hook, line, and sinker, while Marty builds a makeshift rod and reel, using a little mountain ingenuity.
All we need is our water bottles and our tackle boxes. Keep in mind that we don't have rods and reels. We agree to that. We're not taking them. Well, what are you going to take? Well, we're going to take fishing line. Really? How are you going to cast it? I'll show you how. I use an Nalgene bottle. So anchor my line on and just wrap it like this. And then cast off the bottle. And you can cast a long ways and you can cast accurately just by doing that.
So far, the fish aren't biting. Each man is only carrying 2 pounds of beans and rice on this leg. For Marty, it won't be nearly enough.
If you don't hunt or fish, you're living on rice and beans. And tell you right now that if you're just sitting around, that's doable. But when you're putting on a big pack and bushwhacking and going up and over top of mountains, trust me, it's not enough.
The men are depleted. On the last leg, they were stranded on Katmai Beach for more than 76 hours without food.
Out of food, on the beach with the fire, pouring down rain all night. We came out here to subsist. We had 4 days supplies. Now Alaska's written into the script. You came with this amount of provisions for this length of time, but I'm going to add time and not give you provisions.
After that brutal stretch, Marty and Matt are eager to land a fish.
First cast had a little one come after it, 6-incher.
They're desperate for protein. As daylight begins to fade, over on the north coast of the island, the other hunting party sets up camp. Austin tries to make up for the day's disappointment by starting a fire.
This stuff is pretty wet. Pretty freaking wet.
The damp conditions make a fire nearly impossible, but they have no choice. They need fire both to keep warm and cook their small ration of rice and beans.
So we got our tinder, got our kindling.
Stormproof matches.
I got a magnesium.
Austin is equipped with waterproof matches and a magnesium fire starter. And a secret weapon. Some birch bark he gathered back on leg 2.
I brought some of this Yukon Gold.
The oils in the bark allow it to burn, even when damp.
The birch bark from the Yukon made a quick flame, but even that wasn't enough. Come on, baby. Come on. This is a tough customer because basically just trying to find and dry out wood was almost impossible. Man, all this stuff is so wet out here. We're trying, man. There's some type of fire god you know that we can pray to for a sec.
Pray to him.
But veteran outdoorsman Willie has an ace up his sleeve that could do the trick.
Little trick I do sometimes is I've got some candle stubs. Stick a candle underneath it and light it.
You got a candle? Oh, goodness.
Try this for starters. I've got some bigger ones if we need them.
Oh, there we go. Willie had a great idea. He's got a survival candle. That was kind of a saving grace, and then basically we just started drying out our small pieces of kindling, and we got it going. There we go. There we go.
Now the men can cook their small portion of rice and beans, but with hunger gnawing at their bellies, getting sleep won't be easy. Up here, the darkness lasts 5 minutes longer every night as winter approaches. As the sun rises, so does the pressure on the hunting parties. At base camp,
Smoker's badass, dude. Coolest thing yet.
Dallas, Tyrell, and Brent have completed their meat smoker. They've even decorated it with bones found on the beach.
It's a solid smokehouse.
Just one problem. There's no meat.
12 hours of smoke time, if done properly, will keep the meat for about a week. If you can get 24 hours of smoke time, it actually killed it for almost 4 weeks. So the clock starts ticking now. We've got to get meat in this thing right away, and the sooner we get in there, the longer it'll last us in the strip.
All of a sudden, an opportunity flies right overhead, and the Seeley brothers snap into action.
Oh, there's the mother load. Yeah, that's what we need.
Dallas quickly readies his H&R Topper 12-gauge shotgun and moves into position.
Yeah, they seem to come in little waves. They do just like that. They come up over this little ridge.
Growing up in the wilds of Alaska, the Seeleys have lived off the land all their lives.
There's nothing in my freezer meat-wise that was bought at a store. When you're subsisting, you're hunting for food. You're not going out there to shoot something just to have shot an animal. I don't think I've ever hunted like that.
Because they had to minimize the weight of their packs for the expedition, the trio have just one shotgun between them.
Hey, down.
After 2 days of meager rations, Dallas is eager to take the shot.
Oh, there you go, dude. Incoming.
Let him get a little closer. I don't know.
On the shores of Nunivak Island, Brent Sass and the Seavey brothers have just 48 hours left to hunt. Now the men are hoping to score their first real meal in days.
Oh, here he comes. He's on this side, dude.
It's a matter of geometry, because the intersecting path of the duck did not collide with the bullet, otherwise known as I missed it.
So far, no luck. But Brent suddenly hears a strange sound in the distance.
Is there somebody over there?
They realize the sound isn't coming from a bird.
We could check it out.
So they got duck in hand. Oh, no, dude. You guys must know what's up. You guys from the island?
Yeah, we're from back down.
These locals, named Travis and Lindsay, are brothers from McCorrick, the only village on Nunivak Island.
Oh, you guys don't have any shotguns, no?
Just this.
The one.
One between the three of us.
We had to pack it through the Brooks Range and carry it down the Yukon, whatever else, so weight's kind of an issue, you know?
Nice goose.
Yeah, it's a big one.
You guys know the secret spots?
You guys want to go near the bushes? Just along these bushes right here?
Meeting the brothers was a huge boost to our hunting efforts. For example, they called the Canadian geese, not Canadian geese, but the birds that flew the wrong way. Because all the cormorants and brants fly one way, the Canadian geese fly the other way. So it helps you to identify them. If you want to hunt these guys, you sit here. If you want to hunt these guys, you sit there. Now we knew where to go, how to identify them, how to get to where the birds were going to be and get close enough. So that was really helpful meeting those guys.
Yeah, let's do it.
With their newfound knowledge and a little local help, the men head off to better hunting grounds. Things look far bleaker 10 miles inland.
Come on, bud. Let's go up here a ways.
Marty and Matt's fishing trip has been a bust.
It looks like it's pretty hard riverbank.
They're desperate to find better fishing grounds, but weak from hunger.
Woke up, didn't eat breakfast, busted out of camp, trying to get to the low tide area of this McCorrick River to fish and hopefully have a fresh salmon dinner. Rough country. Again, I'm dropping my pack, dude. Going into this leg of the expedition, I'm hungry. I'm hungry sitting here. I'm losing weight. This whole thing about subsisting is taking on a new light. I'll tell you right now, living off beans and rice became a real challenge. You get tired. The morale is, definitely waning.
Marty sets up a crude shelter, while Matt stays focused on landing some fish.
I've just opted for the basic setup. I got a little secret, nice little lure here. Something shiny for the fish to look at. And a weight. Something heavy so I can throw it out there, basically. And then just keep on casting and reel it in.
With every cast, the situation is becoming more critical. They need to eat more protein to keep going.
We need to get some food going on. I'm hungry.
But Matt's line keeps coming up empty. "5 miles away, on the north coast of the island, 24-year-old Austin's running out of time to prove himself to his fellow explorers.
I felt the personal pressure to provide some protein for the group because not many people are expecting me to shoot anything with this longbow. And I want to prove to them that old stick and string gets it done.
Fortunately, he spots a friendly face that can lend a hand.
Tyler.
Tyler?
Austin.
I'm Willie.
Are you a cowboy or what?
Alaskan cowboy.
Alaskan,
Yeah.
Sam was born in Nunivak's only village, McCorrick, and Austin is quick to take advantage of his local knowledge.
We've been having a hard time taking birds with our tactics so far. Are they up in the hills more?
They'll fly close to points.
Oh, yeah.
Close to points.
Yeah.
So cliffs are a good spot.
Yeah. Where there's cliffs.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
We got a retriever.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you very much.
Guyana. Thank you.
Thank you, Guyana.
They know time is running out, so the group quickly follows Sam's advice. And the cliffs look promising.
Look at that. There's a bird right there.
Think we can get it from the top? Probably not.
I might be able to lean over.
Could be pretty dangerous. You know, you fall in the water, you're a goner.
Well, it's not the water, it's the sudden stop on the rocks that I'm worried about.
I'll tell you what, hunger makes a man do crazy things, and I'm willing to give it a shot. We gotta do something.
Austin will hunt the birds from above by perching precariously on the edge of a sheer cliff.
Yeah, be careful out there, man. I was a little uncomfortable with it. It's very unpredictable, potentially very dangerous. Somebody could have busted a bone or worse. It's steep and scary.
Gotta be a crazy man.
There's a loose piece of rock there. You might want to watch out for it. Yeah, this is dangerous, man.
On a rocky cliff over the Bering Sea, Austin is desperate to take down a cormorant.
Whoa! Austin! Hey! You down there? Right here, Tyler. It's all right. It's all right.
Okay. He's really, really lucky.
It was nearly a disaster, but Austin maintains his focus.
Ooh, that was intense.
He takes aim a second time.
Woo, woo, woo! I hit this one. I hit this one right here. Woo! Nice job. Nice job. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one. There we go. First one, man.
Tyler's happy to retrieve their prize, but Austin's not satisfied yet.
Ooh, there's another one. You look like you tagged it. Woo! He's in the water. We got dinner. Oh, yeah, you got a good shot on him, man. It was dead on. Man, I'm just feeling exhilarated. Winner, chicken dinner.
The birds will provide much-needed protein for the legs ahead, and Austin's accomplished what he set out to do.
We got more than dinner. I was out to prove myself today. It was really key to earning my stripes. Doing the hand.
It was incredible. He was able to kill a cormorant with that bow.
This guy's got game, you know?
Nice job, guys.
Hey, thanks, man. Hey, teamwork, guys.
Nice retrieving. Yeah.
Nightfall brings 6 hours of rest. And day 3 on Nunivak Island begins. Austin's bird hunting crew is only 4 miles up the beach from base camp, but Marty and Matt Rainey are farther off, on the far side of the McCormick River. By sundown, the groups are supposed to reunite at base camp to smoke what meat they've got. In the harsh interior of the island, Marty is struggling with hunger. It's been 2 days, and the father-son duo has caught absolutely nothing. Now, Marty can't even muster enough energy to leave their shelter. The situation is growing critical. Matt knows it's up to him to find food, fast.
My dad makes me pretty worried. I'm going to do what I can to get some food. So not catching fish wasn't an option.
I gotta tug on something for sure. I got a fish on.
Matt's determination has landed him a 15-pound silver salmon, cause for celebration.
Oh, this has to be a silver. What the hell? Holy crap. I can't believe it. It's probably that long, about that fat. Wow, man. Good job, buddy. Impressive.
Just the thought of fresh fish has Marty back on his feet.
Wow. Huge. I just caught this thing on a hook with a missing bar. That's amazing. We can get a fire going here so we can actually eat. That's a lot of meat. Nice looking fish, my son. Good job, bud. We're gonna eat like kings. We cut that silver salmon into steaks. And the two of us had one of those blocks.
Though it's plenty of food for tonight, it's not enough for future legs. They need more. But first, time to enjoy some extra protein and rebuild their strength.
That was amazing when you walked up and I saw that. Oh, I know. I was like, what? So scary. I was going to be like,
I'm impressed. Good job. I was in trouble, but my son was there for me. I'm proud of that.
For the guys back at base camp, the hunt is getting urgent.
We're gonna go catch some big birds now.
Dallas, Tyrell, and Brent have joined forces with a pair of local brothers they met yesterday to tap their knowledge and bag some birds for their smoker.
When the tide starts coming in, they'll pick up. The geese will pick up.
The brothers grew up hunting on this island and know it like the back of their hands.
When is high tide today?
Coming in right now.
Just as Lindsay predicted, when the tide comes in, the birds soon follow.
Dude, flock. Coming right over. Reload that baby, Dallas.
On the remote shoreline of Nunivak Island, less than 24 hours from extraction,
Flock.
Dallas has a flock of geese in his sights.
Coming right over. Reload that baby, Dallas. Oh, you got it. Yeah! Yes!
It's a really rewarding feeling to get the gun dialed in and figure out how to shoot in these conditions.
It seems luck is finally on their side.
Got him.
With the tide coming in, the catch floats right to shore.
Looks like she'll eat.
The brothers waste no time bagging more ducks and geese to fill their smoker.
Nice!
Right there.
Nice! Nice!
Dallas and I set a goal to shoot a duck or a goose for every person in the group, try to help feed everyone, and then finally, I think we got 6 or 7. That was pretty awesome.
Their impressive haul will provide each man with enough protein for at least 4 days.
The Seedy brothers is definitely an awesome dynamic. They're very successful people, and they got that way because they are focused, and they are very confident in what they do, and I respect that in them.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
After thanking their new friends, the men head straight back to base camp. Time to prepare the meat while it's fresh.
That's about as big a fire as we want in there. If it gets any bigger than that, we'll be burning down our structures.
With less than 20 hours until extraction, the guys have a plan to smoke their birds as efficiently as possible.
By making it long, thin strips, it'll smoke more evenly and more quickly. So I'm looking for pieces of meat like this that'll smoke overnight.
The choicest cuts come from the breast, but these guys are in survival mode, so Tyrell isn't wasting any part of their birds.
I was going to start by stringing a bunch of duck on there and tying it to this log. And it looks absolutely awesome.
So,
as the third day draws to a close, the other hunting parties are due to return within the hour. Austin, Willie, and Tyler arrive right on schedule.
That looks like camp to me, boys.
How's it going, boys?
hey boys, I see meat.
They've got 5 more birds to add to the smoker.
All right.
Got a couple.
You shoot that thing with your bow? Nice. Wow.
Strolling back into base camp with my bounty, my chest couldn't have been higher. Chin up to the sky, and I was proud. I was happy that I got it done on my terms. I settled it with stick and string, and I put protein in the pot with my longbow. That's me, and I did it.
We got ducks in the smoker going right here.
Yeah, we went hunting with some local kids today. Semi-automatic 9-round Winchester.
Well, either way, man, it's going to taste good.
Hell yeah.
Their spirits are high. There's meat in the smoker for the hard days ahead. Just one problem. Marty and Matt are still missing.
No word on the Rainies yet, huh?
No.
I haven't heard anything.
No word.
Yeah, I wonder where they're at. When a team member doesn't show up, you're concerned. I mean, what if somebody got hurt? What if they got swept in a river? What if they got lost?
I would have thought the Rainies would have been here by now. Do we need to be worried about those other guys?
The day comes to a close, And still, no Rainies. As the sun rises on the final day of Leg 6, Marty and Matt Rainey are trapped on the wrong side of the McCormick River.
It doesn't bode well for us.
High tide has made the river impassable.
Unbelievable. It's the Yukon River now. We might as well build a log raft. So you got the Bering Sea right there, and the tide comes in, and of course the river crossings become impassable. We're not getting back across this thing. There's two things that never stop: tide and time.
With less than 4 hours to extraction, the men could be left behind.
I don't think we're gonna get across this river.
This is totally crazy.
On the banks of the McCormick River,
I don't think we're gonna get across this river.
Marty and Matt Rainey are anxiously waiting for the tide to recede, but time is running out.
This is totally crazy.
Back at base camp, the other 6 explorers have no idea what's happened.
Hopefully those guys are doing all right out there.
The homemade meat smoker has proved a success.
Tastes awesome. Tastes like jerky.
But with each minute that ticks by, the concern for the missing explorers grows.
No sign of them. Somebody could have easily fallen on those tundra tussocks. It's very loose footing and messed up an ankle.
We gotta move.
So my concern was that they weren't going to make it in time for the pickup.
Bering Sea, goodbye.
Miles from the others, Marty and Matt scout up and down the banks, but it's no use. They're trapped on the wrong side of the river.
What do you think of crossing, boy?
It's been 24 hours since the tide came in. It should head out soon.
It's filled up like 3 feet since I've been standing down here.
Meanwhile, on their way to the LZ, the men pass right through the only village on Nunivak Island.
Hello.
McCormick, home to most of the island's 210 residents.
How are you?
They have just 2 hours before the plane departs, but they stop to ask the locals about their missing friends,
Standard, I'm Brent. Nice to meet you.
hoping that someone has at least seen them.
There's no other inhabitants other than in McCormick in this small little village, and so we're hoping that they knew where they were at.
Oh, there's still a lot of questions. Where are they? What's going on? And are they going to catch up to us?
After speaking with several villagers, one thing's clear. No one's seen the Rainies.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
There's nothing more the 6 men can do, so they keep moving toward the LZ.
We ready to rock and roll? Yeah, we gotta go.
As they approach the small strip,
Wait!
their ride arrives right on time. 1 hour from now, it'll depart, with or without Marty and Matt Rainey. Three miles from the LZ, the Rainies are almost out of time.
Check it out, Matt. There's a boat. It's like a couple natives. Hello, hello. Come on over. Would you mind taking 2 desperate, starving fishermen? Sure, how fun? You serious? All right. Man, are you lucky or what?
They were gracious and allowed us to board their boat, and they brought us upriver.
Full speed ahead, Jeff.
The fishermen agree to bring the guys as close as they can to the LZ, but time is running out.
We've spent longer than we anticipated. All right, thanks. And now it's urgent to get back to the LZ, hoping that we didn't miss it. The race is on. So let's roll, come on.
It's a grueling final push to the finish. Every minute counts. The plane will leave with or without the Rainies, and their fellow explorers are getting nervous.
I'm worried because at some point, you know, you either go look for them or you gotta take off, but push pilots don't wait around. We know which river that they were following, so maybe it was a little longer trip than they were planning and it just took them more time.
Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. We saw something in the distance. We didn't quite know what it was until I got closer.
Hey, looks like we got our boys.
There's the gang right there. When we got to that LZ, there they were at the far end of the runway. All 6 of them. But seeing those guys standing there in that airstrip in the middle of nowhere was a beautiful sight.
Hey, just the nick of time.
Welcome back to somewhere.
And it lifted our spirits immensely just to see that we weren't going to be leaving behind 2 valuable members on our team.
You guys messed up.
Let's go catch this plane.
All right, we got a plane to catch.
Glad to see you, boys.
Against all odds, the 8 explorers have reached the LZ in time. Now, their expedition can continue.
It's all about the adventure.
I say we go back to the beginning.
Their time here on Nunavak reaped a considerable bounty, enough for their next leg. But for Austin, the island offered much more.
Earning respect in a group of alpha males is a big deal. And being the youngest guy in this group, just proving myself to these other guys that, yeah, I'm here for a reason, was, to me, one of the best opportunities of the trip. They're going to remember me now, and that's what I'm looking for.
The plane turns east, onward to the next leg, a journey through Prince William Sound, across foreboding ice fields, to the Doran Strait.